What would you get if you had a vegan pothead Linux person?
Well, I know
there's got to be someone that's that like. There's got to be someone like that.
I'm sure there is someone like that. I wouldn't know him though.
Then there was also that company, Big Huge Games.
Oh, is that Donkey? Massive. That's Donkey's game company, right?
No, that's Big Mode.
God damn it! What the fuck?
I don't know for sure, but
Oh wait, I can't. That's right. It pulls up the Danganronpa character if I go to images. Welcome to Off the Console, the hottest new podcast that's all about gaming, tech news, and anything nerdy. And we're covering the biggest news this week, such as the upcoming Summer Games Fest. New game announcements during the summer? Heck yes. And Xbox's Handheld? What's going on with it? You guys know what's going on with it? Because I don't know what's going on with it. And of course, is Apple finally ready to enter the gaming market for realsies this time? And there's a bunch of other topics as well. And just so you know, if you're listening to this on if you're watching this on YouTube, then good job. But if you're listening to this on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then we're aiming to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of this year. So if you're listening to us, feel free to check out our YouTube channel. It's Off the Console. You can also check us out individually as well if you'd like on YouTube. But we're trying to hit 1,000 subs on this channel by the end of this year. So if you like this podcast or any of our episodes, feel free to like and subscribe. And I'm High Tech Lowlife, and I'm joined here by my co-host Gardner Bryant and Games Revealed. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Doing amazing.
Doing great. So James, it looks like you're in a different environment today. What's going on with that?
I can't disclose that. I don't want people to find me. No, I'm on vacation. I'm dropping the kids off at my parents', and then it's on to Vegas to go party. Party as in I'm going to go to the hotel. I have stuff set up so I can play games. Me and the Susie, the wife, are going to be playing. Damn it! Now I don't remember that game. The the 2-player one,
Split
the
Fiction.
One. Yeah, Split Fiction. So we have that set up on the Steam Decks. We're going to be playing that, do some spa and all that. So it's going to be a great week next week.
Oh, yeah. And it sounds like that's been your game of the week that you've been playing, James. Is that correct? Split Fiction?
No, that's going to be next week. I haven't started yet.
Oh. So what have you been playing this week?
I have been playing Expedition, and I've been playing it on this lately. It's not bad, actually. It's pretty good, but you got to have it plugged in or else you're going to burn through that battery in like 30 minutes. If you want it to be like run decently, it runs at like 40, 50 frames per second if you set it to turbo. So, not bad.
And I feel like an Ally X would be a good solution for that as well. You know, literally double the battery life.
It would be, but I'm too lazy to reach out to get one, and I'm also too cheap to buy one right now. I'm waiting for the next gen. Like
the RG Ally,
Legion Go, maybe the Legion Go 2. I'm really like, it looks like they're going to fix everything that I had problems with. I just really hope the software is good, but I'm eyeing that one over. I'm going to do what Fox does. I'm going to have an eGPU and everything.
Oh. Yeah, the Fox does have a crazy setup, man. He doesn't even have a tower. Yeah, he doesn't. For those who don't know, the Fox doesn't have a tower anymore. He just has his GPD Win Mini, and he plugs in like a dock to it, which includes an external graphics card and keyboard and mouse, and that's how he desktops nowadays.
That is how I'm going to game. So I'm going to have two setups. I have my Mac Studio, which is just a beast, and then I'm going to have my my portable setup to where I can hook it up anywhere in the house. If I want to put an eGPU in every room of the house, I could, and I like that concept. So yeah. I'm leading into that.
Sounds good. What about you, Gardner? What have you been playing?
I have been playing Doom Eternal on my Legion Go S SteamOS edition. And
dude, I thought you hated Doom Eternal.
No, I don't like doing the Dark Ages.
Oh,
back.
Yeah,
he couldn't stand it. He had to go back.
Yeah, I've been trying the Dark Ages on here too, and it works pretty well actually. But I got to one of those like mini boss guys in Doom Eternal or Doom the Dark Ages, and Man, I just hate that pattern, like the bullet hell pattern stuff. I cannot stand it. It's not fun to me at all. It made me stop playing again. I've got like 15 hours in the game. I have 15 hours in the Dark Ages, and I don't like it, and I don't know why I keep playing.
Dude, you want to like it.
I want to like it, and I just
gotta see it through. You gotta see it through, Gardner, man.
I'm pretty close to the end, actually. Yeah. I
still haven't started.
I read an article about it, and they were like saying, "Oh yeah, like the first few hours of it are not very fun, but when you get to, or they're not as fun as the later stage, but like literally, I had more fun in the beginning than at the end. Like I just have like a completely different experience than everybody else seems to the point where I went back and started from the beginning because I had more fun in the early stages. Yeah,
damn.
Yeah, I felt like Doom Eternal was like that too, though. I think it's much more fun once you get a lot of like the rhythm going.
Yeah.
The first part of it, Eternal, I actually don't like as much partially because I played it a lot. But yeah, I've been playing Half-Life Alyx lately, and I've been doing the developer walkthrough. You know, you're listening to all the developer commentary. So now I'm just like, I feel like I'm in a museum, and that's what I'm distracting myself with lately. I still need to play Doom Eternal. Doom the Dark Ages was the one I was most excited for this year, and it's the one I have not played yet.
Dude, just wait for them to fix all of Gardner's complaints in a post in a patch.
I have fundamental problems with the basic mechanics of the game. They're not going to fix them.
man, that is crazy work, man. I haven't tried out doing the Dark Ages either. I haven't had the time. I've been playing. As for me, I've still been grinding out the 100 line. I'm going to go for getting all 100 endings. Mm-hmm. I've gotten about...
Do you have to play the over and over again?
No. So
start to finish.
Okay, so all right, so here's how it works. So the first playthrough is just a straight you just go through it. There are no choices because of how the story works in the first playthrough. They call it the prologue when it's like basically a full game almost. And then, spoiler alerts, you go back in time. And then the branches, like, alright, so the whole game is framed around a 100-day period. And there are multiple branching points that branch at different, like, times and days. You don't have to go through you don't have to go through all 100 days every single time to get all of the endings. Sometimes you will, though, but that's just kind of how branching stories are, man. It's been a crazy time, but aside from that, though, I've been trying out some new demos. So there's the new Hunter x Hunter fighting game, the tag team fighting game. It's kind of like Marvel 3. It's pretty sick, though. There have been a lot of complaints about it being a 7-button fighter instead of like a traditional 6-button fighter, because you have your light, medium, heavy. You have one button for like your Nen actions, and another button for like your special attacks, and then you have two buttons for your assists, because it's a 3v3 fighter. And people, it's difficult on a fight stick. Let's just say this is more of a controller made game, to be honest. And another demo I tried out was Stellar Blade, because that just came out very recently, the demo, and I'm surprised at how well it runs like out of the box. Like
on what?
On a Steam Deck.
Playing it on
the Steam Deck. It runs at like 50, like high 50s to 60s, without needing to tweak any settings whatsoever, because it defaults to a Steam Deck preset. Yeah.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. We need. Okay. Maybe I will pick that up day one. I like supporting games that really do a good job of supporting the Steam Deck and these devices that I like to play on the go.
Yeah, and also like the only setting I changed was I turned off motion blur, because as we all know, motion blur sucks. But yeah, I mean I've actually played the game, and I think it's criminal how no one talks about the soundtrack. Like I think it's really good. It definitely gives off Nier Automata vibes as well. But but everyone's too busy talking about fucking Eve's ass or some bullshit like that. The game's pretty fun. I mean, it's kind of like a Souls-like almost, but like you can jump and do jump combos, so it's actually a little. I don't know. I'm not sure how the game opens up at this point in terms of combat, but we'll see. I mean, the game's on PS5 already. I could probably just look up how endgame combat looks on YouTube, but still.
I mean, I do like games like that, so I once they announced it for like Steam, I was like, okay, I'm more interested now. It was probably gonna be one I was gonna play later on, but I might play it this year now. If I can get through everything else, I gotta play. I mean, I gotta do something to where I don't play Doom Dark Ages.
Dude, you're gonna play Stellar Blade before Doom the Dark Ages. That's crazy work.
Gardner's he's scaring me.
Gardner, what have you done?
You might enjoy it. Like I don't want to detract from your enjoyment, but I will tell you it's not my thing. I really liked 2016 and I love Eternal, and the Dark Ages just doesn't do it for me.
I know I'm gonna like Dark Ages, but I'm just giving you crap.
I mean, like honestly, Doom, the Dark Ages is to Doom Eternal what Quake is to Doom 2.
Yeah.
Like it's just a fundamentally different thing, and it doesn't feel like it belongs in the same franchise to me. And I think I had like built it up in my head. I saw some of the trailers and I was like, ooh, that doesn't look particularly great, but I'm excited for a new Doom game. It's going to be more Doom. And then it doesn't feel quite the way I want.
It is what it is.
No. I just knew it wasn't going to be as good as Doom Eternal. I just don't know. Like Doom Eternal, when I got done with that, I was like, okay, it's just one of those games where it was just so good.
The thing with Doom Eternal, the thing with Doom Eternal is like there's like this flow state that I get into. I think I mentioned this last time. Like you're constantly moving forward and you're literally ripping and tearing. You're cutting demons in half. You're splitting their fucking heads open. You're doing whatever, and you're like automatically switching weapons to take combos down the next guy in your path, right? Yeah. With Doom Eternal, it is, with the Dark Ages, it's so much slower and deliberate, and you have to like shield, parry, shoot, jump, dodge attack, or whatever it's called. It's just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, so do you think it would have been better if they just made Doom Eternal 2? Or do you think
they needed? I would have had a lot of fun with Doom Eternal 2, right? If they had just kind of like built on those mechanics rather than throwing pretty much all of them out. It felt like, I probably would have had more fun with that. I don't know if it would have been better because a lot of people really seem to like the Dark Ages.
They did a lot of DLC, so and it seems like they like to like when they make new like full games, they like to really change up the formula a little bit. Since June 2016. Well,
I've watched some reviews of it too, and like Clint from Lazy Game Reviews said that he really loved the sound effects. Like it felt beefy and meaty and actiony. But like I found when I was playing the game that there were a lot of sound effects that just I felt should have been there that weren't, right? Like when you're going like there's a lot of like destructible things in the environment, and when you like walk through like something that gets destroyed, as you walk through it, there's like these little like little fart sounds when it should be like like I don't know. There's a lot of it also comes from like the fact that the game just feels unfinished to me. Like it feels like it was rushed out the door. The knights that are on your team never move. Like they are stuck in an idle position waiting at door frames for you to walk through, and they don't follow you. They don't shoot, they don't do anything. And I'm like, it feels like, I don't know, like a System Shock or something. Like just how, System Shock is a great game, but like just it feels old, like very old in a lot of ways, where that would have been awesome to encounter in the early or late 90s or whatever. But now it's like, clearly there's no AI in these guys. They aren't going to do anything. And no matter how long I stand here and watch them, they're going to be stuck doing this idle position with their gun. They just do that. I was like, what are we doing? Why are they doing that?
That sounds like an old school thing, right? That's what they used to do.
Yeah.
I should get some scripts to fix that. Interesting.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's good to hear some interesting opinions, man.
Got to get that tangent out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so man. So I think it's time for us to get started with the show. Let's talk about our. Oh, let me share my screen real quick. It's time to talk about our topics today. First of which is the Summer Games Fest. So the live stream actually starts on June the 6th, which is a Friday. And we were actually discussing this before the show, wondering if we wanted to do a live stream on Friday, and it looks like we all came to a consensus that we should do a live stream. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I think most of us are guaranteed to be there at 5. I should be there by then, but there might be a good chance I might run a little late. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean the games start streaming at 5. Doesn't mean they're going to start showing games at 5, but there's a good chance that it'll start around then. But I mean, yeah, here's the schedules for the actual show itself. Come watch it with us in the stream. That's what I want. That's what I'm gonna say. So here are all the list of partners we have here. We have 2K, 1047 Games, 505 Games. Dude, what are these numbers? Look at this. 1047 Games and 505 Games. You cannot be serious. See, there's Amazon Games. If I didn't know this was like an Amazon swoosh, I would have thought they just said games. And then,
yeah.
I mean, you got a lot here. You got Capcom, CDPR, Devolver, Dotemu, Nexon, Sega. Look, notice how it says Nintendo Switch 2 and not Nintendo? That's kind of funny.
That is, yeah, these logos are kind of interesting. Some of them seem like they're just definitely for promoting stuff.
Let's see.
Like the Switch 2. Yeah,
like we have Steam as well, instead of Valve.
Oh, man. I really hope we see Half-Life 3.
I'm hoping for a Half-Life Deckard.
Dude, what if
Half-Life Deckard? Oh my god.
Dude, what if Half-Life... Yo, but here's the thing, though. What if Half-Life 3 releases and it sucks? What would happen?
I'd still like it.
I'm
sorry.
I don't know if it's possible for it to suck. I'm a fanboy.
There's that, but also they'd scrap it if it sucked. They scrapped Half-Life 3 already multiple times, and a lot of that kind of went into Half-Life Alyx. And that, for having scrapped elements go into a game like Half-Life Alyx, that was such a banger.
Yes. And on top of the actual Summer Games Fest show, they also have a bunch of other shows as well, like the State of Unreal is on June the 3rd, actually. This is probably more for developers wanting to see what Unreal is going to cook up next. There's also Day of the Devs, which are more indie games, I guess. You see the Ball Pit. The hell is this? Oh, it's one game. The Ball Pit. I don't know what that's all about. Let's see, there's Wholesome Direct. Listen, I'm not gonna diss anyone for liking cozy games, but I think I've told everyone this. I'm not big on the cozy games.
You gotta relax sometime, man. You gotta pick up a cozy game and sometimes just gotta relax.
Dude, if a game doesn't have me on edge every single time, like fighting for my life, then I don't want it.
I mean, I'm with you on that one too, but you gotta chill sometime.
Let's see, there's also women-led games. Pretty cool. June the 7th. Let's see, Latin American games. I like how they're showing games from like different like angles, I guess you could say. Sometimes there is overlap. Sometimes you'll see like games here and here they're the same because it's a Latin American woman leading the game. But you get the point.
It's different demographics to help.
Different demographics, yes. Let's see, Southeast Asian games. Let's see, Green games. Wait, what? What is this? Let's see, Driving Real World Change. I mean,
so it's going to be like there's some builder games that promote clean energy and some other stuff, so it could be along the lines of that.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see, Frosty games that are made in Australia and New Zealand. Let's see, Xbox. Oh shit, Xbox Showcase on June the 8th.
Outer Worlds 2. Oh, I'm excited for that one.
And then, we have June the 8th, PC Gaming Show. 15 world exclusive reveals for PC games.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. We'll have to look at this and see if any of them are gonna be Steam Deck compatible, or if they look at they'll run on Steam Deck. And finally, Geoff Keighley gives his best friend Hideo Kojima his own show, which I think is pretty good, because I would have been kind of pissed off if like half of the Summer Games Fest was Hideo Kojima talking about his game. So
where's he? When are we doing E3? Are we doing E3 this year?
Dude, this is E3.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
I know.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the E3 now.
Yes. Geoff Keighley has hijacked E3, and now it's his other show that he does besides the Game Awards.
Yep.
Alright, so now this is the fun part. We're gonna talk about our wildest predictions. We're not here to base our predictions on any like realistic outcomes. We're here to talk about our wildest ambitions. Like, what do you guys think is gonna show up in here?
I already said it. Half-Life Deckard.
Gabe Newell's gonna come out on stage, or whatever they're doing, and he's going to be like, not only is Half-Life 3 coming out, but Ricochet 3 is also coming out.
Ricochet 3 is more wild than what I said.
Yeah.
Is there even there's not even a Ricochet 2.
It doesn't matter. He's proven.
He's like, I'm
them
counting
wrong.
the 3. I'm going to prove it.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's gonna come on stage, he's gonna be 3, and then he just announces
Steam Deck 3.
Half-Life 3.
3. Portal 3.
Portal 3.
Oh,
Deckard
gosh.
5.
Team Fortress 3.
No,
And,
I honestly
I don't know,
think
man.
there might be a Team Fortress game in the works. Like from what I've seen, the rumors I've heard, I think there's a new Team
really?
Fortress coming. Yeah.
I could see that.
Dude.
The rumors are really hot for a Half-Life game, though. Like, they're... yeah. I'd be shocked if we didn't see something announced in the next year.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 3.
Oh, dude, a Left 4 Dead 3 I would be totally down for.
Dude.
The elite concept art was so good for that.
I think we've covered all the major franchises. We've got Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah,
that's all that I care about.
Half-Life and Portal are the ones I'm most excited for.
And then,
Okay.
but then Gabe could also be like Counter-Strike 3, Dota 3,
SteamOS 3, releasing for all devices.
SteamOS 3.
Okay. All devices.
Oh, dude! Imagine if we announced the Steam Deck 2 there. That would be sick.
For ARM, like an ARM-based Steam Deck 2.
Oh, dude,
That would be. I definitely think they might be going that path, or at least playing around with it. Because, yeah, I mean, the Deckard at least sounds like it's pretty strong that it should be some type of ARM chip. But I'm really curious to see, because it really does sound like they're working on production, some production models, and maybe doing mass production of the Deckard project next year.
Yeah.
I can't remember who tweeted it, but they talked about that, and so that's interesting. It could end up being we have the Deckard announced. Because if it's not Valve, it's Steam. So that's an interesting one, right? That kind of tells me that there's probably going to be hardware announced, right? That's what I would expect.
Yeah.
Or they're just trying to support everyone else that's going to be on their platform. But I'd assume it's going to be, we're going to get a hardware, and I wouldn't be shocked if we saw something like a Half-Life game or something that supported that hardware. Doesn't mean Half-Life 3 is going to be VR. But it could be VR compatible, maybe. I don't know. So it's wild speculation here.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I like to see, man. Wild speculation. Let's see what else can we infer based on CD Projekt Red. You know, recently they announced that Cyberpunk 2 is like in pre-production or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see that in 2035, right?
Yeah, we'll see gameplay. We'll see a really nice trailer this time, and then you know, in 7 to 10 years, we'll get the game.
Yeah, dude. The first time I saw the Cyberpunk trailer, I was living in Missouri. I was like fresh out of high school, and it took them like 15 years or something. It was crazy.
Are you talking about the trailer where like it's mostly just still shots of like the cyber psycho girl and like the Max Tack cop or whatever?
I don't know the jargon, but she had like blades coming out of her arms.
Yeah. She was like just like yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, let's see. Capcom's. Let's see. Nintendo's gonna be there. Nintendo Switch 2, actually, not Nintendo itself. Sorry. So there's definitely gonna be a bunch of Switch ports announced, probably. From all of these devs.
Well, that could be why CDPR is there, like CD Projekt Red could be there, because they're doing a massive push for Cyberpunk on like Mac OS and also on Switch, right? So
yeah,
that will be an interesting. I could see that. I'm wondering if they would do something more with The Witcher 4, but
I'm sure we'll see a trailer for The Witcher 4.
Yeah.
Let's see. Match of the Gathering is going to be there. Are they announced? Surely they're not going to announce a video game for Match of the Gathering, are they?
Probably just some expansion for their.
Yeah, because
I
haven't played Magic very recently. I used to do a lot of Match of the Gathering. I have an affinity deck. It's degenerate because it's an artifact based deck.
Yeah, you can't even play against you. Like it's not.
Yeah, but
so the video game is pretty fun. It's better than Hearthstone in that I don't feel like every time I log into Hearthstone to try to play it, it's changed drastically, and it costs so much to get back into it.
Yeah, Match of the Gathering, if you really want to play, you can make like a really like budget deck. Mm-hmm. A deck that I want to build if I ever get back into it is a coin flip deck where I make everyone flip coins every time they want to do anything. It is really funny.
Magic is such a interesting game.
Yeah,
I've only ever played it once, and it was when I was in high school, so I don't have any frame of reference.
It's pretty fun. They've been doing a lot of crossover as recently. They
oh my gosh,
yes,
Fallout. They have
Final Fantasy. They have a Street Fighter crossover of all things.
Nice. It's bizarre. I think they have a StarCraft. Is it a StarCraft? I don't know. They have so many different crossovers.
I think it's Warhammer that they crossed over with, or maybe it is StarCraft.
No, they have a bunch. They just have tons. So
yeah. I think this started happening when they did the Cyberpunk set. I mean, technically, not Cyberpunk like with the IP itself, but like a set that's basically Cyberpunk.
The
genre, yes. Yeah. Let's see, Capcom's there. I wonder what they're gonna announce. Maybe it'll be a new fighting game like Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
I'm expecting Resident Evil.
Or Resident Evil. Ugh. Man, fucking Resident Evil, man. Give us something else, man. Capcom has a bunch of dead IP.
No, keep it coming. They're being innovative, man. Resident Evil 7 was super innovative. Resident Evil 8 was iterative on it, but it was still really good. So keep it coming.
Dude, I wonder if they're gonna
sure it's innovative.
Well, I wonder if it's gonna be Resident Evil 5 remake. I wonder how they're gonna do that, given how. Whatever. All right, whatever. See.
Yeah.
Nexon's gonna be there. They just published the last Kazan, the last Berserker, the first Berserker. Heard that was pretty good. NeoWiz is gonna be there. They did Lies of P. I've heard it's a really good game. I've heard it's the best non-From Software Souls-like.
Yeah, I still need to play it. It looks good.
Yeah, let's see. Razer's gonna be there. They're gonna announce like probably some mice or some shit.
Do you think they'd announce a handheld at this type of event?
They might. I don't.
I'm shocked that they haven't done a true handheld yet. They're just shocked. Like they've done everything else that's not very successful, except for doing just a handheld.
Well, they've
like
done
a true PC handheld.
Oh, well, I mean, they
That's what I'm
have.
talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they have done. I mean, yeah, it is interesting that
I don't think they've been very successful.
Didn't they have like a prototype that they unveiled at CES like 2 years ago or something?
They've had multiple prototypes that they could have flushed out and released that were PC oriented.
I mean, technically, they have released a bunch of like gaming tablets that were kind of like a prototypical version of what a Switch would end up becoming many years ago. Obviously, that wasn't successful, but it'd be interesting to see them do it again. Let's see. PlayStation's going to be there. Hopefully, another PC port. Probably going to promote Stellar Blade. Let's see. Sega's going to be there. Yeah. Well, what does Sega have in the pipelines? Oh, yeah, the new Shinobi game and a new Jet Set Rate. They have a bunch of stuff in the pipeline, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Square Enix is going to be there. You think they're going to announce a new Final Fantasy there?
Honestly, that's a franchise I'm done with, I think. The newest one looked interesting. I don't know. I want dystopian sci-fi Final Fantasy again, and they just haven't been doing that.
So, like Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. Which they're doing, but I'm waiting for the last one to come out, because I don't know. I know that I'm going to play the first one, and then I probably won't pick up the other ones for a long time. I just prefer to just get them. Like, it's like with, Game of the Year editions of games, where I won't most likely play the DLC unless I play it with the game when I'm playing it the first time. So
it makes sense, yeah. See, Supermassive. There's a bunch of. I'm thinking of Super Giant, Super Massive. Sometimes I forget the difference.
Yeah, which one's which?
Then there was also that company Big Huge Games.
Oh, is that Donkey? Massive. That's Donkey's game company, right?
No, that's Big Mode.
God damn it! What the fuck is
Big Huge? Did Rise of Nations and Rise of Legends, which were two of my favorite strategy games.
Right.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I see. Hey, I see this thing that looks like an R right here. Any idea what this is?
Rock.
It's between PlayStation and Razer.
Can you click it?
I cannot click it, but if I
open your dev tools.
Oh yeah, Raw Power Games.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, same. Let's see what they make. I'm super interested in seeing what they make. Let's see. Oh, it looks like an RTS. Sounds like something that's up your alley, Gardner. Wait. So they don't have any like game.
This is what they're announcing, probably.
This is probably the might be their first game. We'll see what they have to offer. But otherwise, a lot of these game dev veterans are splitting off and doing their own studios, like with Expedition 33's studio. That it's promising. Yeah,
you could see some pretty good games come out.
Yeah, they used to be Ubisoft, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they got laid off, didn't they, from Ubisoft? Like, what a freaking loss on Ubisoft's side.
Yeah. Ubisoft hasn't been the same since they lost the Expedition 33 team.
Well, they were able to make that with, oh my gosh, I don't know what these AAA game companies are doing. They don't like money, apparently.
Yeah. Ubisoft hasn't been the same since Splinter Cell 3. Chaos Theory. Let's be honest.
There's a Splinter Cell game or movie coming out.
Why would I watch that?
I'm just saying, there's a Splinter Cell movie. Interesting. You're gonna get a Splinter Cell movie before you get another Splinter Cell game.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Dude, I'm loving the transitions between pages here. That's really neat. There's a new browser API that lets you do that, and I've been meaning to look into it, but I haven't.
I should make more transitions for my videos, because my transitions are just it's a smash cut, basically.
That's typically what I use too.
Yeah. See, of course, the transition doesn't play if you open in a new tab, but let's see.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
There usually needs to be a frame of reference, oftentimes, with transitions.
Wait, are there more events than just what's being shown? Because there's an all events button. No, there isn't. What was the point then? I'm curious about this ball pit or ball X pit, however you're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah, sometimes the X is silent in these, like Hunter x Hunter. Some people say Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter.
Some people say Hunter x Hunter, and
I'll say Hunter x Hunter because they put a fucking X in there, so they can just shove it.
Yeah, so
It's what.
Oh yeah, speaking of Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter, you can't search. It's nearly impossible to search it on here. So Hunter, you type in an X Hunter, it doesn't show up because instead of using a regular X, they use the multiplication sign. Yeah,
they should put Hunter x Hunter in their like tags or something to make it searchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. They just didn't. Look, you have to copy paste the X. Or, hold on. Can I just type in Hunter x Hunter? Wow, that works! Well, look! The X really is silent. Look. You can just type.
It's not silent.
Dude.
I would say Hunter by Hunter.
Hunter times Hunter. The demo is pretty sick, though, in case you guys are into fighting games, but I know...
Oh, it's like a true fighting game. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a true competitive fighting game. If you watch some, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh, is it competitive? Is there going to be a story mode to it?
I mean, probably. It's probably just gonna follow the manga story, though. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a manga about the McDonald's ball pit.
There's probably some type of like fanfic, I'm sure.
Dude, they'll make a manga about anything.
I'm gonna write one called Play X Place.
Play X Station. And then the X is silent, this is just gonna be PlayStation. Oh right, Amazon's gonna be here too. I wonder what they're gonna do.
Is it going to be an expansion to their MMO, or is it going to be like a new game that they're working on?
I would imagine. I mean, I don't know, man.
So much money into that MMO.
I can see why. I think people do like it because it's less restrictive on things. Like there's a whole economy, like there's player trading and PvP. And stuff.
The whole thing's interesting. If it was sci-fi, I probably would have played it. I have World of Warcraft. I won't.
Yeah, true that.
I don't know.
True that. So Xbox is going to be here too. Do you think they're going to announce the Xbox handheld there?
No.
That's our next topic too.
Yes, quite so. Xbox handheld. It's been sidelined for now. So.
Microsoft's doing everything to take the L again.
So I just want
to.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If they partner with Steam, I don't know. They're making some interesting choices that are like kind of fun gambles for me. But yeah, if you're a true Xbox fan, or if you're like really want them to go back to what they used to be, you're probably not going to like this journey that they're on.
Microsoft is on an interesting quest to. Well, all right. So my question for the Xbox handheld is it going to be like a PC handheld where it runs Windows, but like has an Xbox quote unquote front end, or is it going to be like an actual Xbox product where it only runs Xbox games?
Well,
no, I think it's going to be just like SteamOS. Sorry, go.
Well, given the fact that Dave 2D did the video with the battery life testing, I don't think if Microsoft makes an Xbox handheld, it has to be running the Xbox OS. Even if that's like, even if it's like a more PC-ized, for lack of a better word, Xbox OS experience. Like, it's clear that Windows is not a capable device, operating system for handhelds. Like, it's just not. Like, somehow Windows is able to normalize battery life across games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Dead Cells. to the point where like Dead Cells only got like 3 hours of gameplay on the same hardware under Windows as it did versus playing on Steam OS, which was like 6.5 hours or something with the same game on the same hardware. So it's like, I don't know.
The Xbox OS runs a stripped down version of Windows, and so I could see them being able to do kind of what SteamOS does, of it boot into like the Xbox OS, but then if you wanted full capabilities, maybe go into Windows. But that seems like a lot of work for Microsoft to do.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, the Xbox is also the most power hungry device on the market too. So it's not like
true.
It's even not more like than, it's optimized at all.
Even more than the PlayStation 5 Pro.
My understanding is that the Xbox is more demanding, but I haven't seen comparisons for that.
They run PS similar hardware. I'd be shocked if PS5 Pro wasn't more.
Yeah, so funny story. It's funny that you mentioned the Dave 2D video, because I mentioned this in a video I published as well, and people were like, how come everyone's pointing to this one video? I mean, I guess that's a fair point. We should all be doing our own experiments as well to validate Dave 2D's
takes a lot of work.
Results, but yeah.
It's easier to reference.
Look, that's just Windows fanboy cope.
It kind of is.
I do. It is totally insane though to see like Dead Cells more than doubling the battery life. Like let's do the math right now. I'm gonna convert all of these to minutes. So 2 times 60 plus 47. That's 167 minutes of Dead Cells on Windows. And if we do 6 times 60 plus 12, it's 372 minutes. That's 205 minutes more. Let's divide this by 60.
It's more than double.
It's more than double. It's an extra 3.41 hours of battery life. It's insane. It's insane, the difference here. I have a Windows version of the Legion Go. Guess what? I probably should have done this earlier, but I'm going to install Windows. So, speaking of which, I actually tried installing Windows on my ROG Ally X. I mean, not Windows, sorry, SteamOS on it. The actual image. I mean, it works all right. The issue is I can't use the quick access menu at all. Probably because because they probably mentioned ROG Ally support, but they probably didn't mention ROG Ally X support. So that's why quick access menu doesn't really work on the Ally X, at least in my experience.
Like you can't bring up the menu or...
Yeah, I can't bring up the menu with the right button, the right Ally button. And I also can't bring it up with the left button plus A, the other shortcut for quick access either. That's weird. Yeah, it is weird. I guess they did just mention ROG Ally, not ROG Ally X. Which, I would have thought that they would support it as well, but I guess the hardware underneath is too different.
Yeah.
It just shows that there could be something just eating up that performance, and if they figure out a good game mode, they might be able to turn off some of the services that are eating in, or not performance, but the battery performance, I guess, that's drawing that battery. I think we'll be shocked if they really do actually focus on Windows for handhelds. That it will do better. That it will do better than what it is now. I don't think it's going to beat SteamOS anytime in the next few years. But I think they could get close if they really wanted to try.
I think the Fox mentioned some things you can do to up the battery life on Windows, but of course that's extra work you have to do instead of just using SteamOS out of the box.
There's a lot of stuff you can do to optimize it, and they just have to put that in. That's it's I don't know what Microsoft needs to stop with the AI play and do multiple plays. They're entering this game so late.
Yeah.
So speaking of the ROG Ally, remember this prototype?
Yep.
Am I the only one that dislikes the like GameCube handlebars on the side of this? Like, it's no doubt probably more comfortable, but it just looks ugly.
I mean, it looks like a wave bird,
right? Yeah,
it does look like a wave bird.
Yeah, but there's just something about this with it being a portable device that just makes it feel like not like it doesn't look right. Like, I don't like the look of the PlayStation Portal either. Like, you guys know what that looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it for the most part.
Well, you have a Portal?
No, but I'm probably going to buy one. I actually like it. I was one of the few people that actually liked it when it... Well, it was kind of weird when it first came out. I was a little worried, but yeah.
You'd be the second person I know with a Portal. The other one being Fan the Deck. He has one.
I don't have one yet, but I want to play my PlayStation 5 from my bed, which is like 10 feet away from that TV.
Oh,
I get all 20 feet.
You can use your Steam Deck for that.
Yeah, you can use your Steam Deck OLED.
I can, but here's the thing. It's the protocols and everything that Sony has for it's just better. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Like even on my phone, it streamed better than it did on the Steam Deck. I have a whole guide, and I even had a back-end Python service so that you could get everything set up for Forever Go, which I don't know if I've renewed that. Because it was a whole thing to get it working on Steam Deck a while ago. But, yeah.
Things might be better. I think they've updated the Chiaki script.
Chiaki NG is really nice. I use it with my PS4.
Chiaki.
I definitely could see it working better on the PS4. Partially just because I don't think I don't know if it would matter.
I should do a guide on Chiaki NG because it's been I did one like when the deck first came out, and I think I should do a new one.
Yeah. What is the difference between Chiaki and Chiaki NG?
NG is designed for like gamepad devices like the Steam Deck.
No. And whereas Chiaki is, I guess, designed for computers.
Yeah, I think Chiaki might have been like abandoned or something. I don't know for sure, but
oh wait, I can't. That's right. It pulls up the Danganronpa character if I go to images that they named after.
Yeah.
There we go. Screenshots of Chiaki in action, I guess.
Chiaking. That's awesome.
Oh shit, it's your favorite game, Astrobot, on the RG Ally.
Nice.
My favorite game. Astrobot's awesome. You guys need to play it. It's fun. But then again, if you don't like platformers, then, or innovative games.
I have a PS5, so I can't.
Yeah, I'm saving my PS5 for when it can be hacked again, so no, I'm not. I'll wait until I can hack my PS5. Or when Astrobot comes to PC eventually.
That's a hard one if it will come to PC. It will come to PC. I don't know, man. It relies on the PlayStation controller too much.
What?
I'd be shocked.
What does it rely on that you couldn't just adapt to
the touchpad? I guess the Steam Deck adaptive controller or the triggers. We've talked about this. So the adaptive controllers that are more pressure sensitive and also have force feedback, and a bunch of and resistance. The PlayStation controller is pretty feature rich. I just don't. It would still play. It'd be still fun, I think, on PC. It just wouldn't be the same. The controller really adds to a very tactile experience, so that's what made it so fun. I'm not used to games being so tactile and so much feedback coming back to me in a physical form as opposed to me interacting with it.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to them releasing it on PC and being like, oh, you need a DualSense for it.
For the best experience, use a DualShock. I agree. I agree with that. It would still work pretty good. Oh gosh, I messed up my camera. It would still work pretty good on the Steam Deck. It's just that you'd lose the. They could simulate the touchpad with the touchscreen, and then the only thing you're losing is the resistive triggers, which, to be fair, are pretty cool. But yeah,
it's whatever. It's a compromise. I I wouldn't mind it if they ported to PC. Be like, oh, it's the best. It's best if you do it on like a PS5 controller or whatever, but made it still playable for everyone else. Because I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I agree. These big companies have ideas of like, well, we want it to be in its best pure form, or maybe it's the flagship, and they're just like, that's how we sell PlayStations. It's our Mario. Why would Mario go to PC? But I'm hoping.
I mean, yeah. But speaking of big companies getting into gaming, Apple has acquired their very first game studio, Rack 7, the developers of Sneaky Sasquatch. Let me see what is this? Oh, it's a mobile game. It's a 2-developer team, and that is an interesting picture, man, from a distance. It's interesting that they acquired a 2-person team. I don't get Apple, but maybe this is a foray into like, I know that these types of games, especially mobile, do really well on Apple, and so maybe they want to pick up a couple of more. They've paid big game developers to port their stuff over or to have exclusive licenses like on Apple Arcade. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to start acquiring more like indie studios for the arcade, or, maybe they'll buy up Valve, and Half-Life 3 will be Mac OS only. Dude, that would be horrible if they bought... There's no way Apple could afford... Well, first off, there's no way Apple could afford whatever Valve would, whatever Valve.
What's Valve? Valve's worth like what? 100 billion, 50 billion? I don't know.
Any valuation on the internet of Valve is a prediction right now because, as we all know, Valve is private, and I'm sure.
Does it come with the super yachts? That might change it too.
No, it probably wouldn't come with the super yachts. It also probably wouldn't come with. Also probably wouldn't come with Gabe Newell's neural interface company as well, which supposedly they're supposed to be releasing a chip sometime this year.
That's what they're going to do at Steam. The Steam Neuralink. You don't need a Steam Deck if it's in your head.
Dude.
Then you're an Xbox. Xbox will come out afterwards. You're an Xbox.
Yeah.
Dude, I can see people misusing that while they're driving. Like, you think it's bad that people look at their phones while they're driving? No, they're just gonna look straight ahead, and they're gonna play fucking Cyberpunk, and they're in a driving scene in Cyberpunk while they're driving in real life. It's gonna be crazy. But Apple acquiring studios is a big deal, but the studio they acquired is a smaller one. I would have expected Apple to acquire someone big first. Yeah, a bigger studio. But again, I mean, Apple, I feel is still a little wishy-washy in the whole gaming thing.
Yeah.
They really should lean into it and really be working on the Proton DB stuff and really integrating it more into their system. They are doing it. They're integrating stuff, but I'm telling you, man, the Mac Studio that I have, yes, is expensive, but I really want to see stuff optimized for it because it would play better than I think my 3090 if it was optimized better. It's a beast of a machine.
I can see it happening.
But
yeah, I mean, Apple. A lot of Apple's arcade games are coming to PC though. Fantasian was supposedly a really good JRPG that was exclusive to Apple arcades. But it's now coming to regular systems, and Steam as well, under the name Neo Fantasian. Honestly, I've heard it's really good. Linus Tech Tips talked a great deal about the RPG as well. I would have never pegged Linus for a JRPG kind of guy, but he really does like it.
He had to play something when he was doing that.
He also really likes Crosscode as well. If you guys have ever played that,
I have.
Yeah.
Did you know that's a browser game?
Yeah, it's a HTML5.
Yeah, and the version that ships on Steam ships with a kiosk mode version of Firefox.
It's crazy how they managed to make that in a browser.
Yeah.
And it looks like their next game might also be in a browser too, technically speaking.
My next game is a browser game.
Chess Mess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember playing beta testing and showing you a really broken synergy that lets me win in 2 turns.
Yeah.
And speaking of,
You just. Oh, sorry.
oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, speaking
It's
of,
over.
yeah, speaking of your upcoming game, is it going to be part of the next fest?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I haven't had time to build a demo. I really want to, but I just haven't had any space for it.
You still got some time, Gardner. You still got a week.
Yeah.
Do it, Gardner. I think the audience would love to see your demo on the next fest.
Yeah. I've delayed the game twice because I haven't had any time to work on it, so I don't know. We'll
Damn.
see. Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. The next fest is coming not next week, but the week after next. So it starts on Monday. And if you're someone that's part of the press, you have access to the press portal, which we can talk about, but we can't link it. That's basically it. Not all demos are available right now, but some are. I will be trying out some of those demos ASAP. And yeah, the next fest. Let's talk. Honestly, what are your thoughts on the next fest as a whole?
It's a cool concept. I like what Valve's doing.
I really like it. I wish they would do. I don't know. I wish they would maybe. Valve and Steam don't do much advertising, period. But I wish they would reach out and do some maybe do a TV ad or do something. Just I would like to see something interesting to help promote it. But as far as I think it's good for these developers. But there's so many games that come out, and I'm like, this is interesting, and I just don't know if I'm going to get to it.
Dude, all the money Valve doesn't spend on marketing, they get to spend on buying Gabe's new super yacht.
I know. I know. I keep bringing it up. Yeah.
I mean, they do make trailers though for the next fest. The trailer for this one isn't out yet, but they do announce them in trailers, and there's trailers of games as well, and it's on YouTube, so it's not like they don't do any marketing at all. And plus game development,
bare minimum marketing these days. I don't know. I'm really curious because they do it a lot. They do it what? How many times a year do they do it? 2-3 times?
I don't know.
4 times a year?
4 times a year, which is, and with how many games that are in them, it's pretty excessive. Makes it so it's really hard to feel like, well, I'll catch the next one, or I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to commit that much time to each one, but it is really cool.
I mean, a lot of developers do also do the advertising for Valve. They mention that their game is on the next fest, or content creators like this guy will talk about the next fest and have developers post their demos under their posts or email or some shit like that. See, look, we're on the next fest.
I just want a Half-Life 3 ad promoted and then they're going to showcase it at the next fest as an indie game. That's all I want.
Dude, Valve,
is that too much to ask?
It might be too much to ask.
Yeah, no. No, it's a good I really like the way that they promote devs in this. It's a huge time commitment.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah, next...
I wish maybe better categories, because there's and they kind of already do this, but there's a lot of categories I'm interested in, but I can't consume the whole Next Fest. But if there's a cyberpunk or a horror or there's multiple different subcategories or genres that I would be very attuned to.
Yeah, so all right.
Them.
I will be fair though. My issue with some of the categories on the Next Fest is that sometimes I want to look up beat 'em ups, but you know what a beat 'em up looks like, right?
We talked about this during the last Next Fest where it all bled together, right?
Yeah, I look up a beat 'em up. I want a game like Final Fight, right? But then I but then I type in beat 'em up. I press the beat 'em up tag or whatever, right? But then I get a bunch of fucking Vampire Survivor likes. And I'm sick of them.
I know.
I know it's easy. I know it's an easy game to make, but maybe they should just stop making them. Unless you have something really nice to bring to the table.
Yeah,
but that's far and few.
Like beat 'em ups. That's part of my problem with beat 'em ups. I feel like there's innovative stuff that comes out every few years, but I don't know. It just is not enough to keep me interested anymore.
I mean, that's fair.
But
sometimes I just want to throw it back to the good old arcade days. But I can't even have that when I search up beat 'em ups. Wait, where'd Gardner go?
He's a ghost. I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, they just need to curate. I think what they need to do is they need to curate it more for the individual, which would require more telemetry, which I know people don't like their data being collected. But me personally, I want a personalized Next Fest, meaning and I don't mind like really gritty, really unpolished games from developers if it's interesting in the world that I like, in the horror space, or is similar to the games that are in my library. I would be very interested in that. Like a curated list for me to go watch through all the trailers that have like 20 games. That would be perfect for me.
Well, they do have specific game fest for like different themes. Like remember, right now they're running the Zombies versus Vampires Fest, which features games with zombies and vampires. And
I looked through this. and I looked up some of the games in this. So this one worked for me.
See,
but it didn't have enough in it though. Different. I don't know.
Well, I mean, come on, dude.
I own half of them. I didn't feel like there was anything too new in it for me.
Yeah, but to be fair though, these fests aren't typically like upcoming games. They're more like games that are kind of already existing. Oh, you can buy Last of Us Part 1 for half off if you'd like. And yeah, some of these
it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also another fest right here called Games in New York. And what does this even what does that even mean?
Games that take place in New York, or
games that
built in New York,
that are set, designed, and created or published in New York. So, like, I don't think Spider-Man's developed in New York, is it? The Spider-Man games,
but it's based in New York, though.
Yeah, but I don't see him in here. But I do see Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. I didn't know he was a New Yorker. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. The fests. I think they do a pretty decent job. Like I said, the only issue I have with the fest is that sometimes I look up a genre, but then they all start to bleed together. Like, it also happens when I look up shmups as well, because contrary to Gardner, I actually kind of like bullet hell games. But then all I get are fucking Vampire Survivor likes as well. It's bullshit. I don't want to play Vampire Survivors. Like another like shitty Vampire Survivors clone.
Yeah, those clones are getting out of control. They're just... Vampire Survivors alone was fun, but I got tired of it kind of quick. Because I have a hard time with the infinite type of games, where they're essentially infinite.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% of the game at the time before they started adding a bunch of DLC. So yeah, I think that's basically it. Yeah, I'm done with Vampire Survivor likes. And speaking of which, Persona 4, they didn't announce Persona 4 Remake, but a bunch of voice actors came out and confirmed that they're not coming back to Persona 4, which has caused a lot of drama in the community because Yuri Lowenthal, he's a pretty prominent Western voice actor, and he's probably the biggest role he's had is the role as Spider-Man in the PS4 games. He voices Yosuke in Persona 4, and supposedly he begged for the role back, but Atlus didn't want him back for some reason. And it caused a lot of controversy surrounding it. And
Maybe they're just going to reuse all their voices. They're just like, we're just going to recycle this.
I don't think they can do that, especially... I think they still have to negotiate rights. I mean, shit, man.
For remakes, like if they just remake it exactly how it was, but look much better.
Well, that's a remaster, right?
Yeah.
If it's a
No,
full on, yeah,
If it's a full, I'm just kind of
taking the piss.
spitballing here. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but yeah, so
that's weird. That's weird.
So Yuri Lowen, yeah.
To kind of like put like Half-Life Alyx didn't have the original Half-Life Alyx, or like the original Half-Life or Alyx from Half-Life 2 voice actress.
I mean,
so I'm curious why they're doing it this way too.
So and another voice actress, Erin Fitzgerald, the voice of Chie, is also announced that they're not returning either, and Atlas didn't even come to the table with them either for that. And since this article came out, a third one, Amanda Wynn Lee, came out and said that she's not returning either. Which it is interesting that they're recasting the entire cast in English, but in Japan, Japan, they tend to keep the same voice actors for like even remakes and legacy projects. Some people say that it's because Atlas in the West wants to give new voice actors a shot at the roles, but at the same time, though, what I really think is happening is that these new voice actors are just cheaper than the existing ones. Because Yuri Lowenthal has become a lot more popular in recent years, and he's a lot more experienced, and he's probably more expensive. And Troy Baker's in Persona 4 as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Troy Baker is probably really expensive because
he's probably really expensive. I mean, he's in everything, but yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's like, if Yuri Lowenthal isn't coming back, there's zero chance that Troy Baker's coming back either.
Maybe with the new remake, I can finally finish it. I got like halfway through the game.
Yeah, and then Johnny Bosch Young is also in the original as well. Probably going to be replaced, though. He's the main protagonist.
Yeah.
But some people are also upset that they're remaking Persona 4 instead of remaking Persona 1 and 2, as you can see here. They probably couldn't remake Persona 2, though, because you fight Hitler in Persona 2. It's true, though.
What's wrong with fighting Hitler? Did they have a problem with that?
I don't know, but they had to censor Hitler because they gave him sunglasses and called him the Fuhrer. See, Persona 2 Hitler fight.
Wolfenstein, don't you like?
Look, he's
I'm sure it's fine as long as they're not a good guy.
Look, he has the Lance of Longinus as well. And this is what they changed between the PSP port.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's
so
crazy.
Weird. They're trying to make him look more based, I guess.
Dude, don't say that.
They're making it sound like they're trying to give him a glow up, man. They must love Hitler.
If they really wanted to give him a glow up, they should have shaved his beard and his mustache.
Jesus. No, that's signature. You wouldn't know it's Hitler without that.
Damn, you're right. Or Charlie Chaplin.
Well, if they're a little chunkier, it's Hitler. If they're thinner, then it's Charlie Chaplin. Yeah.
Man. I don't know. Personas... I don't know, man. Do you think... I think they should keep, like, the voice actors for roles. Actually, we talked about this earlier. Darth Vader, if you recall, is now going to be AI voiced the entire time. They're never going to give a new guy the role of Darth Vader.
As long as they're not replacing AI voice actors, as long as they're not replacing voice actors with AI characters, then I'm fine with replacing voice actors.
I'm okay with replacing, but you got to be aware of what your audience wants. And with these types of roles, like you play these games for so long that you get accustomed to voices. It can affect a lot of people to just like, let's say an anime. Some animes have had different voice actors between seasons, and it gets annoying if it's too different of a voice. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Of course, it's nowhere near as bad as replacing entire like actors for different roles. Like it's happened a few times in The Witcher. Oh no, The Witcher.
I can't even watch the new. I just gave up on The Witcher.
The new King of the Hill is going to have to replace one of the voice actors because he passed away. Actually, two of the voice actors.
Two of them? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know the. The voice of Bobby died?
No. The voice of Luann died, Brittany Murphy. And the voice of Dale died, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know about... I knew Dale, the voice actor behind Dale died. I didn't know the voice actor behind the actress behind Luann died as well, though.
Yeah.
They're probably just going to have to replay. Like, honestly, starting fresh on that would be the best option, I would say.
Yeah.
It's been so long that if you start with the old cast, you're gonna, and if you want it to be like a longer series, you're just gonna have to.
Now here's my question. What do you think they'll do with The Simpsons if, say, Dan Castellaneta dies or Nancy Cartwright dies?
Disney won't allow it. Their Fountain of Youth program is going to go into effect soon. You're contracted with this, you are not allowed to die.
Well, it's a little known fact, but Disney is actually the proprietors behind the head in a jar technology from Futurama. And so that's what they're going to do with Dan Castellaneta.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be a miserable life having to eat food flakes.
Yeah.
And just talking. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a crazy situation if Dan Castellaneta dies, because he plays like 20 characters in the show. He plays Homer Simpson, most importantly. But hold on, have you guys seen that video from Vox that shows all of the Simpsons like voice cast and all of the roles they play? Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane how many roles they do.
I think we're going to be seeing some AI replacements. I think we're going to be seeing a mix of a bunch of different things. It'll be interesting to see. I don't support AI replacements especially, but it's a gray area for me when like there's a low budget for like indie devs, or it will be interesting to see what happens and if fans how they react. I mean, videos this year are already getting crazy. Voice wise, I guess I don't even know if we're gonna. The only way you'll know if it's me or not is if the voice if there's just saying this right now, if an AI voice of mine comes out, it will have less imperfections than how I talk. I do not talk perfectly all the time,
dude.
So that will be interesting,
dude. The imperfections are what make us human, though.
No, I know. And so it will be curious. I'm curious to see if they can replicate that too.
It's a disturbing time. And it's one thing if like it's one thing if like a voice actor with one role dies, like Phil Hartman, who played Lionel Hutz and Troy McClure in The Simpsons like all those years ago. That's like two roles.
Yeah.
It's one thing if he dies. Unfortunately, he died. Yeah. It's another thing if like I said, Dan Castellaneta dies, and they have to like AI replace 20 fucking voices. Like, there's no way The Simpsons could survive the death of one of the principal cast members.
With AI, they could. Disney's working on something. Simpsons is a cash. Well, is it a cash cow still? I don't know. Simpsons, like as a brand, is worth a lot. I'm curious what they do to preserve it.
Another concern for another day. I'm not looking forward to seeing what happens, though.
I have other concerns before that one, but yeah, I like voice actors that rely on paychecks because they keep on getting work. That's a big concern, right? And so
yeah, like it's gonna be bullshit if AI makes. I mean, AI is certainly probably gonna be cheaper than an actual voice actor. But at the same time,
it's drastically cheaper.
But at the same time, though, I don't know. Indie dev, I feel like it would be cheaper if indie devs just didn't have voice acting at all. I feel like it'd still be a lot cheaper just to like.
Voice acting's not expensive.
Yeah, but like if you're trying to make money on a shoestring budget, you could probably just do what Undertale does. They go like, when they're talking like in text dialogues instead of actually.
Depends on the type of game you're trying to make, but yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of which, have you guys seen...
We're getting cheaper and cheaper tools, but sorry.
Yeah, but speaking of cheaper and cheaper games, have you guys seen Elden Ring Nightreign?
I have seen some trailers, but
Have you seen the trailer though? The trailer with the Evanescence trailer.
Oh my god!
Yes, pull this up on your computers and watch it, man. It is insane.
I'm watching the trailer right now.
Dude, it is. It's the funniest trailer of the year. Holy shit!
Not gonna lie, I like this song. So
I mean, I like it too, but like it's so like 2000s. Like,
yeah, it's a weird one.
it's kind of it's unironically good, but at the same time, though, everyone uses it ironically, which is funny.
I am getting tired of like a lot of the mainstream, especially older school music, getting used in everything.
But what about Evanescence?
I don't know. I don't feel like is Evanescence used in a lot of game trailers.
No,
honestly, it's a little. I don't know. It doesn't quite fit. What she's singing about and what's happening kind of fits, but I don't know.
As someone that's been on the internet since like the 2000s, I've heard this song a lot, and I think this might be the only Evanescence song I've ever heard, to be honest.
This feels like a fan-made music video. That's what this feels like.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Some of the marketing team 100% used to make AMVs and is using their position and budget to make the most self-fulfilling and based choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, AMV stand for anime music videos. I know Linkin Park used to be another popular choice as well.
That's what it's... Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've watched a bunch of those, especially because you get them on LimeWire and stuff.
Yeah, because I tried, like looking up the fight between Naruto and Sasuke used to be a pain in the ass because, I mean, nowadays you look it up, you get the fight, and it's actually like them talking, but like back in the day, it used to just be like the video footage, but they would play like fucking Linkin Park over it.
Yeah.
Linkin Park's also a good one too. Rest in peace, Chester Bennington.
Yeah. Linkin Park was my jam.
Dude, Linkin Park was pretty cool.
I don't know. The game itself, though, I'm just like Elden Ring. I still haven't played enough of it to really give a good verdict on it.
So the emo girl I used to know back in 2005 when we were like 13 years old that used to always make these DBZ videos with Linkin Park in the background seems to work at Bandai Namco now. It's good to know that she's alive and fine.
That's a good comment. That's a good comment. That's hilarious. I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of those people did get into production, right?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. I don't know.
It is a weird trailer. It's not like it could help with virality, but I'm curious.
It's a hilarious trailer, but the actual game itself,
it has a very Japanese flavor to it as well. Like it just seems it like just the use of that song feels Japanese to me for some reason.
It's probably because you've seen too many anime music videos.
Probably, yeah.
But the game itself has mixed reviews. One of which is because it has weird issues with, quote, the latest graphics cards. Now, why on earth does it have issues with the latest graphics cards? We don't know. They don't specify which graphics cards. It probably the article assumes it's the 50 series and the Radeon 9000 series, but Lord knows what they could actually mean. They could mean the 4000 series, to be honest, if we're being honest. But I don't know.
It's interesting to have issues with the latest graphics cards. It's all that DLSS that's getting shoved in there.
But so a lot of the criticism draws from the fact that they consider Nightreign an asset flip, because, I mean, to be honest, it kind of is. But at least it's on their own
Fallout 70. It feels like a Fallout 76 kind of thing.
Yes, and you have to matchmake with players if you want to play multiplayer. Or, if you don't already have a trio, then you're going to matchmake, because you cannot play duos.
Really?
Yeah, like, if you have two people, you're going to be matchmade with a third guy that just does whatever. And there's no in-game communication. There's no tools for that. There's no, like... You know, Apex Legends has a really good ping system. Have you guys played Apex Legends?
Yeah, but I've always played it with Discord, so I'm always talking to friends. Like, if I play any of these games, I'm playing with friends and not randos. Like, and with Discord.
It makes sense, but like, in Apex Legends, there's a pinging system where if you point your mouse at a specific object, like a weapon or like a door or anything like that, or an enemy, and then you press the middle, if you middle click it, it'll ping it. It has contextual pinging, so you can be like, oh, there's a Mozambique here, or some shit, and see what else.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that here, so if you matchmake in Elden Ring Nightreign, you are basically screwed unless you have a way to... Well, actually, there's not even text chat either, so you can't be like, what's your Discord?
Honestly, that sounds very peaceful. Maybe I will play that. I don't need to be yelled at while playing games. That's one of the annoying things.
Yeah, but
there's for someone that's just going to
That said, the game is balanced towards 3 players. So if you want to play it solo, you have to be really good at the game, so they say.
I'm never going to play this game.
Let's see what else. Progression is rough if you suck at Souls-likes.
I suck at Souls-likes.
Let's see. Limited customization for runs. So here's my thing, though, because like Elden Ring is an RPG where you build your character, and you can basically run whatever you want so long as you have the stats, right? Here, though, you have set characters.
Like classes?
Like set characters, like characters with actual names, not just classes.
Huh.
And it seems like maybe we're getting paid characters instead, which kind of sucks for a roguelike, because I mean, like, even Vampire Survivors gives you free characters with free updates most of the time, right? Sometimes, right?
What does this cost? Is it a free to play?
No, it's $40.
Oh, damn.
It's $55 if you want the deluxe edition with characters.
From Software's finally cashing out.
They're crashing out, more like. Let's see.
I'm just saying they'll probably make a lot of money crashing out then.
It's kind of a weird game, because it's a roguelike mixed with a battle royale, because you have the Fortnite circle.
Yeah.
Let's see. And the general consensus is, if you don't have any friends, don't bother. And we have a trio, right?
That's rude.
We have a trio right here.
We do.
We do. We could be the Elden Ring Nightreign trio.
Oh, I'd much rather play something else than Elden Ring's Nightreign.
I've never played a Souls-like that I enjoy, so I'll pass.
Well, technically, this is a roguelike.
Huh?
It's a roguelike.
Yeah, but isn't it
Does
like...
it not have any Souls element to it?
I mean, some, but it's very limited, given that you have set characters, and I don't know, man. I don't know the full details of the game, to be honest. But I'm done with the Elden Ring.
I am curious, though, like, if anyone listening, like, let us know in the comments, like, if you've played the game, or if you plan on playing this game, what do you think of it? I'm curious.
Yeah, let us know. We do read our comments. I think most people post YouTube comments, so if you want to do that, feel free to do so.
Yeah.
But anyways, the next topic is a comment from Nippon Ichi Studios. They make Disgaea, and they're known for mostly Disgaea, but they are I think we would classify them as a double A studio, because they're definitely not triple A, that's for sure. But they're definitely not indie. So they had a live stream where they announced a bunch of new games, most of which were brand new IPs. And the CEO and creator of one of the new series, Yomawari, they mentioned how they need to essentially create new IPs or they'll die. Like, it's obviously easier to make a sequel to something that they know. They're probably going to make a sequel to Disgaea, by the way, but like, they know that if fans want a sequel, they'll make it. probably. But if they stop taking on new challenges, they think they would die. That's their quote.
Sometimes you get lazy, so I could kind of see it. Like, if you're not really trying to push yourself, maybe with a new IP, if you're having a hard time doing that with existing IP, because this guy has been going on for a long time, I could see them starting to like run out of gas on that. I'm sure there's so many different different variants and different ways they could do it, but you know, a lot of creative minds need change, and so
yeah, like I've played Disgaea 7, and it's still a very good turn-based strategy game, tactical RPG. But at the same time, though, I mean, I've done this song and dance many times before, so I know how it's going to be in the end. That said,
the old ones are good, but because it's the same, like it feels like the same old formula, just redone a little differently. I'd like to see them do something new.
Speaking of which, have you played Labyrinth of Galleria or Labyrinth of Refrain?
No.
It's a dungeon crawler made by Nippon Ichi, and I actually really like it a lot.
Oh.
You should try it out. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think so basically the idea is that Nippon Ichi believes that mid-sized developers need to do what big studios can't, which is make new IPs and innovate. What are your thoughts on this?
I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, with the amount of money that AAA studios put into their games, they can't afford to have a game flop. And taking risks invites the potential for flop. You know?
Yes, of course.
I definitely think a lot of these studios, once you get to a certain point, you should probably be... let's say you have like 30, 40 team. I think taking the safe route, but then having a couple of them break off and do concepts for other ones could help. You could either get more investments if you wanted to try to go off and break off and try to like play it safe. You could do if you could maybe juggle both. I'd be interested to see if some of these companies start to try to do that, where a lot of these, like a lot of game developers have an idea of a game that they want to make, and so I'm sure they could get some ideas to where they could work on their current IP and then break off and try doing like with a couple of developers. Or
it makes sense. I mean, I think at this point you will have to break off to actually do what you want, because there's a lot like. In big companies, there's a lot of bureaucracy involved as well, and a game like
they need to reorganize big companies altogether. They're just going to fail.
Yeah, and like a big
creative works don't.
Like, let's go back to Expedition 33. There's probably a 0% chance that they would Ubisoft would have greenlit that game had those guys stayed at Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, because Ubisoft's anti-French. They're like, French RPG? Who's ever heard of that?
They're anti-French despite being France's crown jewel.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Well, not anymore. The French crown jewel now is what's the name of the studio?
I don't know. 33.
The 33. Team 33.
Might as well. It's given me like a lot of respect for what French developers can do, and with their culture too, kind of etched into it.
I still need to play Expedition 33. I know it's probably past the hype cycle, but there are so many like really hyped up games this year that we haven't touched. Like, you haven't touched Doom: The Dark Ages. Neither have I.
I'll get there.
I haven't touched Expedition 33, and I don't think Gardner has either. Yeah,
no,
I don't. You might enjoy it, Gardner, but it's definitely, I don't think it's your type of game.
Is it story heavy?
Yes, probably. Right?
Especially the beginning part, it is story heavy.
Yeah, that's probably not for me. I'm more of an arcade game guy. I like just simple pick up and play.
Yeah, it makes sense. They also mentioned the developer in this article, the Yomari series creator Yu Mikozakami. She mentions that financial constraints are actually good, because she mentions that if she were given a multi-million-dollar budget to work with, she'd probably get bored halfway through, her quote. And that they prefer the thrill of problem solving that comes with working on a tight budget. Is it possible that game developers have just forgotten the art of creative restrictions? Or creativity through restrictions?
No, because I think we're still getting we're still getting really good games. So I think it's a little silly to say, well, game developers have forgotten that. It's probably like that a decade plus ago. Do some game developers go that way? Yeah, I'm sure, but that's just always going to be the case. I don't know.
That's fair enough. I
think having a constraint's not bad, but I say be careful, because burnout's a thing, and you can only work for so many peanuts before you just like, well, what am I doing living in a squalor, not having anything?
I don't know if that's what that's all about.
No, but that's what it seems like. Like they want a constrained budget, which I guess, yeah, if they're talking about $500,000 to try to get a game done in a year with only a couple of people, okay, but why?
Yeah, so
I want to know the reason why.
Well, from what I understand, Nippon Ichi, she didn't mention they mentioned that they're limiting budgets for more experimental titles. So, like, obviously, like their latest Disgaea 8 is probably going to have a bunch of money put behind it, because I mean it's their big IP. Whereas, and I guess it makes sense, because you don't know if the game's going to be successful, so it's a good way to experiment.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think having a budget just for experimenting is good. Just like, hey, yeah, if you have an idea, here's some money, go work on it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Speaking of money and working on things that didn't work out, Multiversus, it shut down yesterday.
It shut down.
If you
thought it shut down a long time ago.
So it shut down. Yeah. So it released a couple of years ago, and then it shut down because the quote-unquote beta ended, they put it. And then it came back earlier this year, and it shut down because no one wants to play it, because it sucks now. Or maybe it always sucked. I'm not entirely sure. But
also, people just don't have faith in it. Like, once you start doing all this weird stuff, shut it down, you start to lose faith that you want to put any time into something, too.
Yeah.
Yes. So, if you logged in between February the 5th and May the 30th, you have a save data that you can load up. If it's tied to your Steam or your PlayStation or whatever, yeah. And you can play the game offline with all of your earned and purchased content. But if you did not earn or purchase content, then it makes it sound like you can't play. Like, let's say you didn't unlock, I don't know, Steven Universe. Would you want to play a game where you're just forever missing a character? That would suck balls, to be honest. You honestly, if the game isn't being published anymore, you should just hack it and unlock everything.
Yeah, I was going to say. There's no reason that you shouldn't do that now, honestly.
Yeah. It just comes back to game preservation of, if you're shutting something down that requires online access or all of this other stuff, got to give the tools.
Dude, look at this. $99.99 for the Premium Founders Edition, which was released during 2022. And players, look, the game is shutting down before players could spend all of their included character unlock tokens. Meaning you're not getting the full value out of this $100 Premium Edition. Wow. And you never will.
That seems like class action grounds for me.
Honestly, yeah.
It might be, yeah. You have a bunch of useless currency you can't use for anything now. Remember, folks, virtual currencies don't actually have any real value.
It has, yeah. Don't spend too much on it. But if you're having fun,
like,
I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I mean, the problem now is that you can't even play online anymore. You can only play offline, so you can't play. So like this game was built around being able to play online against people, and if you can't even do that anymore, then like the best you can.
Oh no, for sure. Like this is really bad.
Yeah.
Like, but virtual currencies, like, it's a gray area. Like, if you enjoy the game and that's like the only game you're playing, let's say Overwatch. I know we've talked about loot boxing, but if you're putting like $10 a weekend because you just enjoy it, like, it's not a big deal. Just know that if you're gonna put thousands of dollars into a game, though,
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not gonna judge people like based on what they spend their money on, because it's not my place to do so. But at the same time, though, I feel like I feel bad for the people that spent the $100. I know there are people that spent it because honestly, it might have been the best like chance at something being a legitimate Smash competitor, aside from like Rivals of Aether.
Yeah,
this stood a chance because it had DC characters. Let's see what they had here. They had Rick and Morty. They had Adventure Time. They had the Looney Tunes. They had DC. They had some Cartoon Network stuff like Steven Universe and Adventure Time. They had Agent Smith from The Matrix. They had the Iron Giant. They had Scooby Doo. Am I missing anything here? Oh, they had Arya Stark from Game of Thrones as well. That's kind of a weird choice.
Mm.
And they had LeBron James from Space Jam too.
it's so weird. It's such a weird lineup, but
Yeah. I mean, I think Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is a better game.
It probably is, to be honest.
That was actually quite fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just sucks that this was. They really should have done better. They really could have done better. This death could have been avoidable, to be honest. What they shouldn't have. First, they shouldn't have killed the game like all those years ago to begin with. The original version of the game. I feel like if they just kept the beta up and just kept updating it, then it wouldn't have lost all of its customers and stuff, right?
Probably. I mean, did they disclose that it was just available as a beta before they removed it?
I believe so. Yes. But they gave no impressions that it was going to be a limited beta, so no one ever mentioned that it was going to be closed at some point. Whatever. Multiverses could have.
it could have been something better.
It could have been better. It's not.
But you know what? At least we're getting something more in Call of Duty, right?
Oh yeah, we're getting more Call of Duty content in the form of ads. So it's not like they're posting ads of like Mountain Dew, but they're posting in-game ads. They're prompting you to buy more weapons in Call of Duty. Look, here's your loadout screen. You pick weapons. Look, but you can actually buy this reactive bankroll skin or whatever in Call of Duty, and it kind of sucks at one point. And here's more opportunities to buy skins. Look, you can buy.
Wow.
Alright, I get it. Most Call of Duty fans are like a bunch of chain smokers and like weed people. God.
That's how they should advertise. Your skin has a Mountain Dew in one hand and then a vape pen in another hand. Like that's how.
Dude. Okay. All right. I think
just be blatant.
Dude, I think vape. I think vape people and like weed guys are just as annoying as vegan people are.
Yep.
Oh, well.
They're like, how people hate.
Yeah.
You know how people say hate how vegans are so like uppity about their life, or like how some people say Linux users are like vegans of the computer world.
Yeah.
Well, weed people are like that. Period. They say weed is the answer to everything, and fuck those guys.
Agreed. It's really annoying.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Oh, hold up. But who knows how much of our audience is that? 1%.
Yeah.
I don't think any of our audience. Well, that's not true.
See, I hear people say like that Linux people are the vegans of the tech world, but I think that Linux people are more like the Amish of the tech world.
So what you're saying is Amish are like the vegans of like the cultural. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
All I want to
Amish of the tech world. That's so.
aren't the Amish of the tech world the Amish?
Maybe, yeah. But, you know.
That makes it so fun.
I don't know, man. Apparently Amish people do use computers and Linux, but like really limited.
Yes, yeah. There's an Amish community down the street from me, and they're constantly riding their buggies on their smartphones, and I'm like, what are you doing?
What? They're like
They're butt.
No way.
Yeah, I'm absolutely serious, dude. Like these,
they're texting and riding their buggies at they're texting and driving.
Yeah, I walked down to the cafe down the street, and they're on the Wi-Fi. Like they're all huddled around a single table with a like a multi port charger, and they're all charging their phones because they don't have electricity at their house.
That's not very Amish.
So funny. Yeah, the Amish.
That sounds like the Amish. Like, man, smartphones are going to take down the Amish. That's crazy.
It's wild.
Dude.
I heard a rumor that their pastor is not happy about it, or whatever they call it. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. That doesn't sound very Amish of them to be using smartphones.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, but
totally derailed. Sorry.
but to be fair though, the Amish people aren't annoying about their culture, unlike fucking weed people.
No.
I don't know. They just seem very
high tech. Do you hang out with a lot of potheads?
I knew a few potheads in college, and to be honest, they were really annoying about the pot.
Oh yeah, I still hang out with some people that are big into that, and it's just like, okay,
like,
I'm not gonna think else. I don't want.
It's like their entire personality. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about their choice of doing that. I just think it's really annoying when they espouse its virtues all the time. Like they're like it's like they're trying to sell me on like a religion or some shit like that. To be honest,
veganism.
It's like veganism, yes. And sometimes there's overlap between the two. Like, I probably shouldn't be that surprised, to be honest.
What would you get if you had a vegan pothead Linux person?
Well, I know
there's got to be someone that's that like. There's got to be someone like that.
I'm sure there is someone like that. I wouldn't know him though.
Yeah, at one point on Twitter before it went terrible, I posted a photo of dinner that I was making in the crock pot, and it was like a braised beef steak. Dude, no. Someone had like, they were like, "I'm really disappointed in you," and it was like, in their description, it was like Linux, vegan, drug, not it wasn't pothead, but like psychedelics or something like that. And I was like, I get it.
Oh, so they use cocaine, the Hollywood drug.
I don't know if that's a psychedelic, but
it's not. But maybe if you take enough,
I'm sure if you take enough, it's enough of. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Gosh. It's so interesting that people like that are expecting everyone else to just suddenly start living like you.
Yeah.
Well, like you don't have to say disappointed. You're just like, hey, maybe you should do this. Like, what a way to turn people off to how you live.
That's also kind of a parasocial thing. Like when, if you have a relationship with someone who doesn't actually have a relationship with you, you're not communicating with them, so you make assumptions about who they are. And you're often likely to suspect people are like you. So I understand that.
Well, there you go. You're attracting vegan Linux people.
Yeah.
They're also psychedelics.
Yeah.
Wow, imagine they're surprised when they find out that you're only one of those things, a Linux user.
Yeah, I'm totally straight edge, dude. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't smoke anything or do any drugs.
But you do eat meat.
Yes, I do. I like meat.
Yeah, I like meat too.
You
disappointed me, Gardner. I thought you were a pot. I thought you were a pothead, Arch Linux, tree hugger, vegan eater.
Yeah, I eat vegans. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's good.
Good. But all right. Call of Duty sucks.
Call of Duty's okay. It's just it's for a certain crowd, and it's just gotten stale over the years, right? And having them advertising it is interesting.
The weed guys.
Wait, what?
That's Blunt Man and Chronic. Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh.
Yeah. Blunt Man and Chronic. I watched that movie, Clerks. I think that was from Clerks 3, right? I don't know. I watched their movie. Oh no, it was Jay and Silent Bob are back, or I don't know. Whatever. I watched that and it wasn't my favorite.
I think Call of Duty also added Seth Rogen as a playable character too, which is evil. Did they also add James Franco as well, or wait? No, they couldn't have added him because he got canceled recently, didn't he? James Franco?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
He's been kind of canceled. Yeah, so you'll probably see him on the low for a little while, and then he'll be in something again.
Yeah, we'll see how we're doing on the YouTubes. So it looks like we're not live.
That's good.
Yeah, and it looks like our episode with the Fox has been doing pretty good too. People really do like. We're on the rise, fellas. I really appreciate all the nice comments. Here are the comments we haven't been reading.
This is behind the scenes. You're welcome, audience. If you're listening to this, just know that we're looking at the dashboard.
Yeah,
and reading comments.
Yeah, you know, some creators would make you pay Patreon to look at the behind the scenes.
This is at least the $10 tier right here.
Yeah. So he asked, let's see, I've used Linux for 10 years. I, quote, force my kids to use Linux. They're young. They don't know that they're on Linux. They use Steam, AT Launcher for playing Minecraft, Teardown, Gear 3, Lego games. I considered buying the Super Switch, but I don't like Nintendo. I was thinking of buying a PC handheld, but they're too big and heavy for kids. Being able to play, yada, 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 would be better. In my head, it's better to have Linux on the PC and then have you use Nintendo Switch for non-Proton gaming, Linux plus Switch, or just install Windows when they're older. Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, it doesn't seem like they play a lot of multiplayer games, except for, you mentioned Minecraft, which works on Linux. You also mentioned Fortnite, which you can get on the Switch. Hey, man, if you want to buy the Switch, go for it. It's not our job to tell you not to buy the Switch unless the hardware actually sucks.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on, your budget. You don't need to force your kids to just, play games on Linux-based systems, but if you want them to be able to play around and have, a desktop that's Linux and then maybe, a Switch for playing games, I think that's a good start, in my opinion.
I think you should teach them technology, because, let's be honest, I think the world could stand to be a little more tech literate.
Yep.
And it sounds like you know what you're doing when it comes to making your kids use Linux. So I think it's time for you to educate them in terms of technology.
Yeah. If you want a handheld for your kids, the Retroid Pocket 5 is awesome. It's an Android based device, and it's open, and you can install an ARM based Linux distro on it, or you can install a AOSP based ROM on it, which is pretty fun too.
That's a good one.
Let's see.
That's a good one. That's a good call out.
Let's see. Louis M727 says, just found the podcast. Great show, guys. And then his second comment says, it doesn't matter if NVIDIA doesn't care about gamers at the end of the day. They just make a product. If you look at the present, they're at least 5 years ahead of AMD. AMD just started machine learning AI upscaling, while NVIDIA's been doing that for 60 years now. Wow, that is true. They did DLSS many, many years ago. So if you look forward, neural rendering, NVIDIA is playing a different league than its competitors. AMD and most gamers scoff at AI as a fad or a bubble, but when it comes to rendering, AI is the future. computing power has been at a stalemate for years.
Yeah.
I profoundly disagree. I don't think AI is the future of rendering.
I think oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's going to be a compounding way of doing it. I don't think one or the other. I think we're going to increase some type of compute power. We're going to find new ways to handle and crunch things, and I do think AI and certain algorithmic processing algorithms are going to help. So,
I mean, I don't doubt that it will help, but he said that it's the future, and I disagree.
Yeah.
Like compute. He says compute power has been at a stalemate for years, but like literally the only progress that we've seen with GPU grunt power is by just massively increasing power consumption. And if you take one and if you take like an NVIDIA GPU and you increase its power threshold so that it can do traditional rendering versus increasing its power consumption so that it can do AI rendering, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, it's the same deal to me. I just don't see it being like a viable path forward. There might be some kind of hybrid approaches, but I just don't see it as a major player.
We do appreciate all of these comments. It gives us different perspectives on what people think. Personally speaking, I do have to say, you said it doesn't matter if NVIDIA cares about gamers. At the end of the day, they just make a product. On one hand, it's sort of true, but on the other hand, though, they could just stop making gaming GPUs. They could just start making AI accelerators that don't do any rendering of video games, period. And that would be a massive issue for games, period.
Well, and I think that's why, like, they make money off of it. If they made more money, it just feels like NVIDIA is the way they are. If they made more money off of AI and all this other stuff, they would just give up on the gamer side. But they probably want to make sure their hand is in multiple pots. But if you're going to make sure your hand's in multiple pots, make sure that your customers are happy, or else your PR is going to be shit. And that is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. We're seeing more, like, you're going to see this. It's like, it's a dystopian kind of capitalism where if you don't care about your consumers, your customers, and you're only going to go for short-term gains, you're just going to lose. Like, more and more companies are just losing because of that.
Yeah.
So I disagree too. I don't think AMD is that far behind. I just don't think AMD they don't make power-hungry GPUs like NVIDIA. If they put as much wattage into their GPUs, I think they would do almost as well. But they make a lot of mid-range. And I think their technology, like the FSR, I think is very fair because it is an open, I believe FSR is all open source, isn't it still?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
And comparing DLSS, I do think DLSS is a little better, but I'm shocked at how much FSR can keep up with it. So,
yeah,
I'm going to shout that out, that I would today build an AMD machine over NVIDIA because I don't trust NVIDIA.
The big question now is, at what point will DLSS plateau? Because, it's ahead right now, but how much more improvement can you get out of upscaling a low resolution, to be honest? And if it plateaus, then eventually FSR will catch up to that plateaued area, and it'll also plateau as well, meaning that, they're somewhat similar in terms of performance, like how things look upscaled. Anyways, and this one from Pilo-kun says, this was the best podcast about handheld devices ever. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Spread the good gospel.
Yeah. Let people know that we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. So let's see what else is going on in the world of gaming, if anything happened. Single-player game development is becoming sustainable in China. That's a good thing. Let's see, Stellar Blade removed region lock. Oh, yeah, that's right. Stellar Blade had that issue where it was locked in areas where you couldn't get PSN, but now that's no longer the case, which is good. Not a whole lot has happened while behind the scenes. 100 lines getting maybe more routes through DLC. Oh god, I've only gotten half of the endings, man. I've only gotten 50 out of 100 endings.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. you're gonna be done with it, and then they're gonna be like, well, here's the 1,000
The 1,000
DLC. the 1,000 DLC. They're gonna do a DLC where they add the 900 more.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
I gotta wrap this up. At least I have to get going.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's a good time to wrap up the episode anyways.
Yeah.
So, closing thoughts? Any closing thoughts? Oh yeah, we're probably gonna be doing a live stream of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta remember to set this all up.
Yeah, join us at 5 p.m. EST. James will be responsible for setting this up, thankfully.
I don't know, man. We'll see if I ADHD it. Like, forget about it.
I'll remind you. Don't worry.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's gonna be an awesome episode. It's gonna be live. You're gonna see us in person. The audio version will probably come later, obviously, but yeah, the audio version of next week, not this week. They're releasing this. Yeah.
Nice.
No. Nice. Great episode.
Yeah, great episode.
Excited for next week.
Next week's gonna be awesome. We're gonna see Half-Life 3. Everyone's gonna be screaming at the top of their lungs into their microphone. It's gonna be hell for audio listeners, but you know, it's the hype. The hype is real.
It's the 3 hype. Oh.
There's 3 of us, and 6 is divisible by 3. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Steam will have. They'll be like, we can count to 3. You're gonna have the Deckard 3 with Half-Life 3, and also the Steam controller 3. I don't know. They'll count to 3 somehow. They'll do 3 announcements. Okay, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah. Oh, and if you want to buy tickets to the actual event in California, I just want to see how much they are, because you have to buy it through fucking Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster. It's $57, or if you want to get a good seat, it's $200. Man, fuck that noise.
That's not horrible.
Yeah,
it's not that expensive.
Yeah, it's not that expensive for like one of these seats. But you live close enough to where you can fucking drive to California. We're East Coast.
Driving to California, you get into the California Valley, or like you get down into California. It's a nightmare to drive. Like I remember going to E3. It took me an hour and a half. That would normally take me a half hour to get out of California.
Yeah,
LA area.
But you live close enough where
I'd fly. All
right, but your flights will still be cheaper anyways compared to our flight.
Yeah, true. It's gonna be like $100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both.
Let's see. The best seats, yes, as stated before, $200 if you want the best seats, or you could get like a decent seat for like $63. If you buy them now, that is. There's a good chance that these will sell. Well, I'm surprised these haven't sold out already. Whatever. Anyways, it sounds like you're busy with a bunch of kids in the background, James, so I think we're going to end the show there.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Yes, thanks.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.